US and Israeli strikes on Iran were some of the most sophisticated bombing campaigns in history, targeting 7 key facilities associated with Iran's nuclear program. But they weren't comprehensive. We've identified at least 10 nuclear sites that remain. So why? Some may have been spared because they weren't an imminent threat. Take the underground Kolan Gazlar facility. It's right next to the Natanz nuclear complex and much deeper than even the Fordo site bombed at the weekend. But this satellite image suggests it was untouched, possibly because it still appears to be under construction. Other sites, though, may have been spared to avoid a widespread nuclear disaster. Nearly all the sites hit were involved with uranium enrichment. That involves centrifuges like these, filled with uranium hexafluoride gas. Now, that's extremely toxic, potentially fatal to anyone standing nearby if it leaked. But the radiation risk is pretty low. Uranium is heavy. Even if hoisted into the air by a bomb, it quickly falls to the ground. But nuclear reactors like this one at Arak are a very different story. When they're running, they contain a complex soup of radioactive elements, many of which are lightweight and highly radioactive.
You've got volatile fission products in the fuel itself, and they're by definition they're volatile. So if they escape, then they're going to get into the atmosphere. And if you've got a force like in the case of Chernobyl, where you had a fire which was elevating the volatiles, then they get into the atmosphere and then get distributed by normal sort of atmospheric dispersion.
This suggests bombing raids may have deliberately avoided reactors. Take Isfahan. Israel, then America, destroyed multiple buildings at the site linked to uranium enrichment, but neither hit this building. And guess what? It houses a small research reactor, which, if blown up, would cause serious contamination. The same goes for the Bushehr nuclear power plant here in the south of Iran and the Tehran research reactor up there. But reactors are relevant to weaponization. While running, they make plutonium as a byproduct, perfect for nuclear bombs, and do it much quicker than it takes to enrich uranium, which could explain this. On June the 19th, Israel bombed the Arak nuclear reactor, capable of making 9 kilograms of plutonium a year, perhaps because it could do so only because it was being rebuilt and contained no fuel and therefore no fallout risk. All this suggests the recent strikes were a compromise. While America and Israel may want to wipe out Iran's nuclear ambitions, the threat of a radioactive disaster and the international outcry that would create tied their hands.